Welcome to a video you'll never forget. Witness jaw-dropping moments, from catastrophic events to unbelievable encounters, all caught on camera. Subscribe to Epic Frames and hit the bell to explore more extraordinary content every week.
On July 25, 2023, a Canadair CL-215 fighting a forest fire near Christos, Greece, tragically crashed. After its right-wing float clipped a tree, the plane lost control and impacted the terrain, causing a fireball. Sadly, both Greek Air Force pilots lost their lives. On October 17, 2022, a Russian Su-34 fighter jet crashed into a residential building in Yeysk. After an engine fire shortly after takeoff, both pilots ejected, but 15 people tragically lost their lives in the building. In May 2009, a RAF Harrier crash-landed at Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan. The British pilot ejected while the plane was sliding and burning on the runway. He survived with minor injuries. On March 19, 2011, a Libyan MiG-23 flogger was shot down over the eastern city of Benghazi during the civil conflict. The pilot ejected before the plane crashed, marking a significant moment in the ongoing military operations in the region. On September 11, 2003, a U.S. F-18 Hornet landed on the USS George Washington carrier. The arresting cable snapped after the plane landed on the last cable, causing the aircraft to plunge into the water. The cable's recoil, traveling over 100 miles per hour, injured 7 crew members, 2 of whom were evacuated. Fortunately, the pilot ejected safely. On September 20, 1995, an American F-14A, performing a flyby over the USS John Paul Jones, suddenly exploded in flight. The pilot pulled too hard on the stick, entering a fatal high-G maneuver, causing the aircraft to disintegrate due to the extreme G-forces. On July 15, 2006, an RAAF F-11 experienced landing gear issues and performed a successful belly landing. The crew safely exited the aircraft after the emergency landing. This F-18 had to land gear up due to a technical failure. It struck the ground hard and skidded off the runway. Thankfully, the pilot escaped without major injury. On June 17, 2002, a Hercules C-130 crashed while dropping fire retardant on a 10,000-acre forest fire near Walker, California. The aircraft's wings suddenly snapped off, and it crashed near a commercial area. Sadly, all 3 crew members were killed. During the 2002 Royal International Air Tattoo at Fairford, an Italian G222 made a heavy landing, causing the nose landing gear to collapse and ignite a fire. Thankfully, emergency services quickly extinguished the flames. An F-18 Hornet accidentally dropped a bomb that hit an A-4 Skyhawk flying next to it. The A-4 burst into flames after the impact, but fortunately, the pilot managed to eject safely. On September 2, 1995, a British aerospace Nimrod crashed during a display at the Canadian International Airshow in Toronto, killing all 7 crew members. The aircraft stalled due to a combination of low airspeed and G-loading, leading to a fatal crash into the water. An inquiry found the captain made a critical error in modifying the maneuver, which led to the stall and crash. On July 12, 2009, a Pitts S-1 in Grossestheim, Germany, performed a 4-turn spin, but couldn't recover in time due to insufficient height. During the recovery, the aircraft's undercarriage struck a parked car, tearing it off as the plane crashed inverted in a field. Remarkably, the 3 people in the car only suffered minor injuries, and the pilot sustained only minor injuries. On July 24, 1993, during the Fairford International Air Tattoo in Gloucestershire, UK, 2 MiG-29 Fulcrums from the Russian Air Force collided mid-air. One plane was split in 2 by the other's wing. After ejecting, both pilots landed safely with minor injuries. Investigators later determined pilot error caused the accident, as one pilot lost sight of the other after a reverse loop. On April 15, 2010, during a practice session at the Red Bull Air Race in Perth, Australia, Brazilian pilot Adelson Kindelman lost control of his aircraft after rounding a pylon. The plane flipped upon impact with the water, leaving it upside down in Swan River. Thanks to the pilot's underwater emergency training and quick rescue, Kindelman suffered only minor injuries. On April 27, 2008, at Kindl Airfield in Germany, a ZNZ 37 Samalak failed to take off and exited the runway, crashing into a group of spectators near a snack stand. Tragically, one spectator was killed, and at least 10 others were injured. On September 1, 2007, during an aerobatics display at an air show in Radom, Poland, 2 pilots were killed in a mid-air collision. The accident occurred when 2 aircraft from the Zelazny display team collided while attempting to reconverge after a 3-ship formation spread out. In April 1998, during the Kissimmee Air Show of the Stars in Florida, 2 antique biplanes from the Red Baron Flying Group collided 1,500 feet above the ground. Both pilots of the single-engine Stearman aircraft were tragically killed. On July 29, 1999, at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a Corsair on takeoff collided with a Grumman Bearcat, bursting into flames. A second Corsair, trying to avoid another Bearcat on the runway, veered off and sustained substantial damage. The first Corsair pilot was seriously injured, the second pilot received minor injuries, and the Bearcat pilot was unharmed. During the 1984 Farnborough Air Show, a de Havilland DHC-5D Buffalo crashed while attempting a demonstration STOL landing. The pilot misjudged the turn onto final due to a substantial tailwind, causing the aircraft to approach too slowly. A possible right propeller failure may have also contributed, but fortunately, no one was hurt. During the July 1996 Duxford Air Show in the UK, a Lockheed P-38J, Lightning crashed after a fatal roll continued beyond the planned rotations. No mechanical fault was found, but it's believed an obstruction of the controls may have contributed. Tragically, the pilot was killed. At a small Texas airport, a Cessna 172 was approaching for a landing when it collided with an SUV that failed to notice the aircraft crossing its path. Amazingly, no one was seriously hurt in the crash. A Jabiru J200 microlight, forced to land on Mahurangi Beach in New Zealand due to engine failure, was repaired and attempted to take off. However, the pilot took off too close to the water, got caught by a wave, and crashed. A Stinson 108-3 in British Columbia, Canada, narrowly escaped crashing into trees after the pilot misjudged the takeoff distance. This highlights the importance of accurately calculating takeoff distances, especially on short runways, for general aviation safety. A Beechcraft King Air had a sparkling yet challenging arrival after its nose wheels separated during the rollout. Despite the loss of the nose gear, the aircraft managed to land safely with minimal damage. The incident underscores the importance of regular equipment checks and the ability of pilots to handle unexpected situations during landing. A Belanca Viking suffered an engine failure, and the pilot attempted to ditch in the water. However, the plane stalled just meters above the surface and crashed violently into the water. Fortunately, those on board were injured but survived. On August 10, 1984, a Cessna L-19E crashed in the Colorado Rockies, killing both the pilot and passenger. The wreckage, found 3 years later, contained a camera that recorded the accident. The pilot had flown into high terrain, exceeding the plane's service ceiling, and after a steep turn, the aircraft stalled multiple times before entering a fatal spin. In 1993 at Shoreham Airport, UK, a twin-engine plane with 4 people aboard was forced to land with the starboard wheel not locked down. The pilot performed a textbook emergency landing after circling for 45 minutes to burn fuel. Thanks for watching. This incident serves as a reminder of the critical importance of safety, proper planning, and staying aware of environmental factors when flying. By learning from past experiences, we can make each flight safer. Keep training, keep improving, and always be prepared. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more aviation stories, insights, and lessons to keep you flying safely.